One of the big things is that white people, especially white women, we constantly mistake comfort for safety. The first thing I want to always do is acknowledge that I'm on stolen land, stolen indigenous land. The stewards and caretakers of this land are of over 48 different tribes. Specifically, a couple of those are the Apache, the Arapaho, and the Cheyenne. Thank you for keeping this land. I also want to say that Black Lives Matters, including trans lives. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. So this is the first video in the series around accountability. That's one of the things that I am grounded in. Check out my entrepreneurship journey, the first one, to hear a little bit more about like what I'm grounded in. And so one of the things is accountability, taking the time to remember. And so this is a call essentially to white folks, to people of privileged identities, which I have many of them. The first thing I want to speak to you about is comfort versus safety. So I have the privilege and the honor and to be able to be in spaces where I talk about racial identity a lot. One of the big things is that white people, especially white women, we constantly mistake comfort for safety. We think that having conversations around race and around racial equity and around racism makes us feel unsafe. However, safety is based upon whether you think your life is at threat. As a white person, our lives are rarely ever at threat. We call it safety, but it's really comfort. And so when we don't feel like we can have these conversations or like we're afraid to talk about race or we're afraid to check our families on their racism or check our friends on their racism, and we feel like that will create an unsafe environment for us, that is actually discomfort. It is not safety. And how do we grow? We grow from sitting in discomfort and from figuring out how to become comfortable around those conversations and in those spaces. And that has to do with our self-work. We have to understand, why are we uncomfortable talking about race? And I think that's the number one thing. I mean, there's so many things that white women have to ask ourselves, but that's one of the biggest things is like, why do we think that it's unsafe when in reality it is discomfort? And so why does it feel so uncomfortable that we mistake it for safety? I'm going to continue to talk about accountability for white folks because that is something we have to work on. My community has got to work on our accountability. Comment below if you have any thoughts on this, how you figured out that journey of from feeling unsafe to realizing it's discomfort to then figuring out how to sit in that discomfort to make it comfortable for you. Looking forward to seeing your comments. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, dedicated followers. My name is Franna BA. I do a myriad of things, but there's a couple things that I am focusing my branding on. And so that is accountability, financial services, and leadership and entrepreneurship. And so there's all different channels you can follow involving those things, as well as my quick feature of my walk to work every morning. So definitely check it out, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Would love to hear from you.